Did you just receive a lump sum, a nice early inheritance from your parents? I'm Lindsay Sparrow. Follow me at Buy the Latte or subscribe to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about what to do if you've received a lump sum, a nice little bucket of money from your parents, or maybe you won the lottery. Who knows? You've come into some money and now you're trying to figure out, as a millennial that's likely strapped with student loan debt, you probably have a big mortgage, and you may have not started really investing for your future. So let's talk about what you should do if you've received a lump sum of cash. Let's talk about debt for a second. If you have credit card debt that's 17, 19, 21%, that's gotta go first, because you are paying so much interest on that debt that it is very, very hard to scratch your way out of it. So first, pay off that really, really high interest debt. Student loans, okay, I do think that you should get rid of those at some point, but it depends what rate you're paying on that. So if you're paying interest over 7%, then I would start paying that down, or have a really concrete plan of how you're gonna have your student loan debt paid off over 5 years. So not 10, not 15, over 5 years. If you can invest and you are willing to invest in a way that you can average a good return. So what I mean is, if you're too conservative and you're only gonna average, say, 4 to 5%, then you're likely better to get rid of your debt, because your debt is likely 5% or higher. Now, mortgage rates are low right now, so if you do have a really low mortgage rate, then maybe it could be, a toss-up. But if you are going to invest conservatively and you have a lot of debt, you're probably better to get rid of the debt. But if you're going to invest in more stocks and you're willing to take more of a growth level of risk with your investments, then you may want to pay off some debt and invest. You can do both. And remember, when you're younger and you have that time for your money to compound, that can be huge for you over time. You could possibly invest the lump sum that you got today and hardly have to save any more for your retirement. Wouldn't that be huge, to not have this responsibility of having to save monthly towards your retirement because you invested and then you just let it compound? Now, I want to give you one piece of advice. If you're receiving an inheritance, I want you to keep that separate. So I want you to have a separate bank account for it, or if you're going to put it on debt, make sure it's your debt, or if you invest it, it's invested in your name. Because inheritances are one of those rare things that you can keep separate and it doesn't fall into your family asset. So if you end up going through a divorce, if you kept that inheritance separate, you will not have to share that or split that if you end up separating from your spouse. Now, I know no one likes to think about that, but that is a real thing that happens. 50% of people do get divorced. So if you keep it totally separate and you don't make it joint even for 1 minute, then those assets will be yours and it won't come into the overall pot of family assets that you have with your spouse if something were to happen. I'm Lindsay Sparrow. Follow me at Buy the Latte or subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can also click below for other investment and financial planning tips. Remember, invest so you can keep buying those lattes.